1932 to 2022. Who was Loretta Lynn? Loretta Lynn became a mainstay on the country charts after landing a top 10 hit with the aptly named Success. Penning tracks that were often autobiographical and authentic, she wrote the #1 song Coal Miner's Daughter, later published a book by the same name, and saw her life story depicted in an Oscar-nominated film. Throughout the 1960s and 1970s, Lynn had a slew of hits that included the chart toppers Fist City, Women of the World, Leave My World Alone, One's on the Way, Trouble in Paradise, and She's Got You, as well as an array of popular collaborations with Conway Twitty. A member of the Country Music Hall of Fame, Lynn reinvigorated her career in 2004 with the Grammy-winning Van Leer Rose, produced by Jack White, followed by the 2016 album Full Circle. Lynn died in October 2022 at age 90. Full name: Loretta Lynn. Born April 14, 1932. Died October 4, 2022. Birthplace: Butcher Hollow, Kentucky. Spouse: Oliver Lynn, 1948 to 1996. Children: Betty Sue, Jack Benny, Ernest Ray, Clara Marie, Peggy Jean, and Patsy Eileen. Astrological sign: Aries. Early life: born Loretta Webb on April 14, 1932, in Butcher Hollow, Kentucky, Lynn grew up in a small cabin in a poor Appalachian coal mining community. The second of 8 children, Lynn began singing in church at a young age. Her younger sister Brenda Gale Webb also developed a love for singing and later went on to perform professionally as Crystal Gale. In January 1948, she married Oliver Lynn, a.k.a. Doolittle, in Mooney, a few months before her 16th birthday. For some time, via her later autobiography and subsequent coverage, Lynn was reported to be 13 at the time of the marriage, though official birth documentation eventually confirmed her accurate age. The following year, the couple moved to Custer, Washington, where Oliver hoped to find better opportunities. Over the next few years, he worked in logging camps, and Lynn did odd jobs and looked after their 4 children, Betty Sue, Jack Benny, Ernest Ray, and Clara Marie, who were all born by the time she turned 20. But Lynn never lost her love of music, and with her husband's encouragement, she began to perform at local venues. Her talent soon landed her a contract with Zero Records, which released her first single, I'm a Honky Tonk Girl, in early 1960. To promote the song, the Lynns traveled to different country music radio stations, urging them to play it. Their efforts paid off when the song became a minor hit later that year. Settling in Nashville, Tennessee, around that same time, Lynn began working with Teddy and Doyle Wilburn, who owned a music publishing company and performed as the Wilburn Brothers. In October 1960, she performed at the legendary country music venue the Grand Ole Opry, which led to a contract with Decca Records. In 1962, Lynn scored her first big hit with Success, which cracked the top 10 on the country charts. Country Star. During her early days in Nashville, Lynn became friends with singer Patsy Cline, who helped her navigate the tricky world of country music. However, their budding friendship ended in heartbreak when Cline was killed in a 1963 plane crash. Lynn later told Entertainment Weekly, "When Patsy died, my God, not only did I lose my best girlfriend, but I lost a great person that was taking care of me. I thought, now somebody will whip me for sure, but Lynn's talent would carry her through." Her first album, Loretta Lynn Sings 1963, reached #2 on the country charts and was followed by a string of top 10 country hits, including Wine, Women and Song, and Blue Kentucky Girl. Soon recording her own material alongside standards and works by other artists, Lynn developed a talent for capturing the everyday struggles of wives and mothers while injecting them with her personal brand of wit. However, she didn't shy away from more controversial material, as evident with her handling of the Vietnam War in the hit single Dear Uncle Sam, singing as the terrified lover of a draftee whom she doesn't want to see sent to war. Meanwhile, on the home front, Lynn gave birth to twin daughters Peggy Jean and Patsy Eileen in 1964. In 1966, Lynn had her highest charting single to date with the #2 track, You Ain't Woman Enough, from the album of the same name. She followed in 1967 with her first #1 hit, Don't Come Home A-Drinkin' with Lovin' on Your Mind, one of many Lynn songs featuring an assertive yet humorous female perspective. That year, she was named Female Vocalist of the Year by the Country Music Association. In 1968, her classic tune Fist City, a lyrical tell-off from one woman to another over her man, also reached the top of the country music charts. #1. Songs, Coal Miner's Daughter, and More. Drawing from her own personal experiences of growing up poor but happy, in 1970, Lynn released perhaps her best-known song, Coal Miner's Daughter, which quickly became a #1 hit. Teaming up with Conway Twitty, Lynn won her first Grammy Award in 1972 for the duet, After the Fire Is Gone. The song was one of many successful collaborations between Lynn and Twitty, among a collection that included Lead Me On, Louisiana Woman, Mississippi Man, and Feelin's. Performing songs that explored romantic, and sometimes adulterous, relationships, they won the CMA Vocal Duo of the Year award for 4 consecutive years, from 1972 to 1975. Also in 1972, Lynn became the first woman to win the Entertainer of the Year prize at the CMA Awards. On her own, Lynn continued to churn out hits with top 5 songs such as Trouble in Paradise, Hey Loretta, When the Tingle Becomes a Chill, and She's Got You. She also managed to stir up controversy when she wrote about the changing times for female sexuality with 1975's The Pill, which some radio stations refused to play. Lynn became known for saucy, inventive song titles like Rated X, Somebody Somewhere, Don't Know What He's Missin' Tonight, and Out of My Head and Back in My Bed, all of which reached #1. In 1976, Lynn published her first autobiography, Coal Miner's Daughter. The book became a bestseller, publicly revealing some of the ups and downs in her professional and personal life, especially her stormy relationship with her husband. In 1980, a film adaptation of the book was released, starring Sissy Spacek as Loretta and Tommy Lee Jones as her husband. Spacek won an Oscar for the role, with the film itself nominated for 7 Academy Awards. Recognition and tragedy. In the 1980s, as country music moved toward mainstream pop and away from a more traditional sound, Lynn's domination of the country charts began to ebb. Still, her albums remained popular, and she enjoyed some success as a spokeswoman for a shortening company while making appearances on the television series The Dukes of Hazzard, Fantasy Island, and The Muppet Show. In 1982, Lynn had her most notable hit of the decade with I Lie. However, the singer would have to grapple with personal tragedy during this time when her 34-year-old son, Jack Benny, drowned after trying to wade across a river on horseback. Lynn herself was hospitalized briefly for exhaustion before learning of her son's death. Inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 1988, Lynn soon began scaling back her work to care for her husband, who was suffering from heart trouble and diabetes. She did make time to work with Dolly Parton and Tammy Wynette on the 1993 album Honky Tonk Angels, and in 1995, she starred in a limited-run television series, Loretta Lynn and Friends, while playing a handful of tour dates. Lynn's husband died in 1996, marking the end of their 48-year marriage. Still Country in later years. In 2000, Lynn released the studio album Still Country. While earning strong reviews, the set didn't match her earlier successes in terms of sales. Lynn explored other outlets around this time as well, penning the 2002 memoir Still Woman Enough. She also struck up an unlikely friendship with Jack White of the alternative rock band The White Stripes. Lynn performed with the band in 2003, and White ended up producing her next album, Van Leer Rose, 2004. The Story of My Life, the album's final track, gave short, witty highlights of her personal history and career. A commercial and critical smash hit, Van Leer Rose injected new life into Lynn's career. Jack was a kindred spirit, Lynn explained to Vanity Fair magazine. White was similarly effusive in his praise. I want as many people as possible on earth to hear her, because she's the greatest female singer-songwriter of the last century, he told Entertainment Weekly. The pair won 2 Grammy Awards for their work, for Best Country Collaboration with Vocals for the song Portland, Oregon, and for Best Country Album. Following the success of Van Leer Rose, Lynn kept busy by playing numerous concerts each year. She had to cancel some tour dates in late 2009 due to illness, but bounced back by January 2010 to perform at the University of Central Arkansas. Her son Ernest Ray performed at the concert, as did her twin daughters, Peggy and Patsy, together known as the Lynns. Not long afterward, Lynn was honored with a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award as well as a tribute album featuring cover versions of her songs by a range of artists, including the White Stripes, Faith Hill, Kid Rock, and Sheryl Crow. In 2013, she received the Presidential Medal of Freedom from Barack Obama. Amid these and other accolades, tragedy struck Lynn again in July 2013, when her oldest daughter, Betty Sue, died of complications from emphysema at age 64. But Lynn, then in her 80s, persevered, And in March 2016, she released Full Circle, which was produced by her daughter Patsy and John Carter Cash, the only child of Johnny Cash and June Carter. The album debuted at number 4, returning Lynn to her familiar place at the top of the country charts. Coinciding with the album, the documentary Loretta Lynn, Still a Mountain Girl aired on PBS. In 2019, Lynn's life once again was showcased on the small screen, this time in Patsy and Loretta. The Lifetime movie explores the close friendship and bond between the two singers, health problems and death. On May 4, 2017, the 85-year-old country legend suffered a stroke at her home and was hospitalized in Nashville. A statement on Lynn's official website said she was responsive and expected to make a full recovery, though she would postpone upcoming shows. That October, Lynn made her first public appearance since the hospitalization when she inducted longtime friend Alan Jackson into the Country Music Hall of Fame. In January 2018, it was announced that Lynn had fractured her hip in a New Year's Day fall at her home. Revealing that she was doing fine, family members were able to put a humorous spin on the situation, citing Lynn's energetic new puppy as the cause of the incident. Lynn died on October 4, 2022, at her home in Hurricane Mills, Tennessee. The singer was 90 years old. Family. Father, Melvin Theodore Ted Webb, June 6, 1906 to February 22, 1959, coal miner, subsistence farmer. Mother, Clara Marie Clary née Ramey, May 5, 1912 to November 24, 1981. Siblings, Melvin Jr. Webb, December 4, 1929 to July 2, 1993, older brother, Herman Webb, September 3, 1934 to July 28, 2018, younger brother, Willie J. Lee Webb. February 12, 1937 to July 31, 1996, younger brother, country music singer, Donald Ray Webb, April 2, 1941 to October 13, 2017, younger brother, Peggy Sue Wright. Née Webb, B. March 25, 1943, younger sister, country music singer, songwriter, Betty Ruth Hopkins, née Webb, B. January 5, 1946, younger sister, Crystal. Gail, born Brenda Gail Webb on January 9, 1951, younger sister, country music singer Loretta Lynn's net worth. American country music superstar Loretta Lynn had a net worth of $65 million according to CelebrityNetWorth.com. Loretta Lynn's country music career spanned decades and included multiple hit songs, gold albums, and Grammy Awards. Loretta Lynn's net worth is around $65 million 2024.